The landing of humans on the moon is indeed one of the most significant achievements in human history, marking a monumental milestone in space exploration. This event is primarily associated with NASA's Apollo 11 mission, which successfully landed astronauts on the lunar surface on July 20, 1969. Here's a comprehensive overview of this historic achievement. Background: space race. The moon landing occurred during the Cold War, a period of intense competition between the United States and the Soviet Union, known as the space race. The two superpowers aimed to demonstrate their technological and ideological superiority through advancements in space exploration. The Soviet Union achieved significant early milestones, including the launch of Sputnik 1 in 1957, the first artificial satellite, and the first human in space, Yuri Gagarin, in 1961. In response, the U.S. escalated its efforts to land a man on the moon. NASA and the Apollo program. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy made a bold commitment to land an American astronaut on the moon before the end of the decade. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things not because they are easy but because they are hard. The Apollo program was initiated by NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, to achieve this goal. It involved a series of missions leading up to the lunar landing, with Apollo 11 being the culmination of these efforts. Apollo 11 mission launch. Apollo 11 was launched on July 16, 1969, from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida using the Saturn V rocket, the most powerful rocket ever built. The crew consisted of 3 astronauts: Neil Armstrong, commander; Buzz Aldrin, lunar module pilot; Michael Collins, command module pilot. Lunar landing. After traveling approximately 240,000 miles to the moon, the Apollo 11 crew entered lunar orbit. On July 20, 1969, Armstrong and Aldrin descended to the lunar surface in the lunar module, LM, named Eagle, while Collins remained in orbit aboard the command module, CM, named Columbia. The landing site was in the Sea of Tranquility. Armstrong famously reported, "Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed." First steps on the moon. Shortly after landing, Neil Armstrong became the first human to step onto the lunar surface at 2:56 Universal Time Coordinated on July 21, 1969. He famously declared, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Armstrong and Aldrin spent about 2.5 hours outside the LM, conducting experiments, collecting samples, and taking photographs. They planted the American flag, left a plaque commemorating the event, and deployed scientific instruments. Significance and impact. Scientific achievement. The Apollo 11 mission marked a significant technological and scientific achievement, showcasing advancements in engineering, navigation, and communication. The mission returned with 47.5 pounds, 21.5 kilograms, of lunar rocks and soil samples, which have provided valuable insights into the moon's geology and history.